I dated a man with two lives that I didn't know about. I feel like I was a naive girl because I believed him. This guy is a Muslim guy. Kanzu is white kanzu, which I find very attractive. Oria gaya kite one gaya toragana twake taroraira thimo wone oria gaya kite one gaya ria mwena twake. Sometimes we meet people and we expect those people that we meet in church, they are the best people. But let me tell you, in today's world, we have bad people everywhere, especially in those churches. But now, the good people, sometimes we find them in clubs, sometimes we find them in places that the Bible and the church and the religion has taught us that those places are bad places. And that is why we have today's topic. I'm going to tell you how I dated a man with two lives that I didn't know about. Okay? Hi, my name is Makena and welcome back to Just Between Us. Today I'm gonna share with you a story of how I dated this guy that had a second life, a secret life that I didn't know about. So, this guy is a Muslim guy. I met him on an online dating app. Yeah. So this is connected with the previous video. Okay. So if you have not watched the video, please go back and watch it. The link will be in the description. So I met this guy. He was using his name, his real name on the dating app. So I could tell he is Muslim. But his picture, it was also, you could tell, you know, the way you can tell when the Muslims by their hair, sometimes by their faces, yeah? So I knew definitely this is a Muslim. Let's call him L, okay? So we talked with L for a couple of months. Not a couple of months, oh my God, a couple of days, yeah? And then finally we decided, because we are both in Mombasa, let's meet, yeah? So we met in one very beautiful restaurant in Mombasa. It's called Cafe Point. Yeah, we went to Cafe Point, the basement, and we had a very cute dinner there. We talked. I told him I've never been with a Muslim guy before. He told me he'd never dated a Christian girl before, and he told me so many good things. It was such a good vibe. And after that, I went back to the hostel because I was in campus. So I used to stay in hostel, but private hostel, which was also owned by some Somali guys. So I was so used to seeing Muslim guys every day because of the hostel. Even though it was a girls' hostel, they used to come there to chill. So I would see them every day. I got used to them. And that is why it was not so difficult for me to mingle with this Muslim guy. And I think he was Somali as well. So I went back to the hostel. And a couple of days later, I decided, now let me go visit this guy. And I went to his place. Actually, I think he came to pick me and we went to his place. Now, he was living in a 2-bedroom house, even though he was living alone, which was weird because most Muslim families live together, yeah? So, the 2-bedroom was very spacious, very big, and each bedroom had a balcony. So you know that morning hours when the Muslims go to pray in the mosque, El used to wake up at around 4:30. From 4:30 to around that 5:15, 5:10ish when they used to go to the mosque, I don't know what he used to do because he used to wake up, leave the bedroom, and I don't know whether he was in the sitting room or in the other bedroom. I didn't used to know. So, and after that, he'd come back home for a few hours, maybe 2 hours, and at around 8 he would leave again. And he told me, I'm going to work, but I'll not be long. And I would ask him, what do you do? He told me, I'm working um with a friend of mine. We have a company where we sell some stuff, some Muslim stuff, and we deliver them to our clients. And I was like, okay, because now, what to do? If somebody tells you they are a doctor, you believe them, right? Uh-huh. So we went on with my L for some days, actually months. We stayed for months. And then I remember one day, um, I was not sleepy at all. So when I woke up, after you woke up that early morning at 4:30, I stayed for like 30 minutes and woke up just before he left for the mosque, and I saw him coming out of the second bedroom. I was wondering, what is this guy doing in the second bedroom? It's too early in the morning. Why is he in the other bedroom? Is there somebody in that bedroom? Yeah. I was very scared. Maybe yes, somebody in there. I didn't know what to think about him, and I also didn't want to start showing him that I have doubts. Okay. So I asked him, what were you doing in there? He was like, no, nothing. I'm just working on some orders. We have international clients. So I have my computers in there. You've seen them before. So I was just checking my emails and everything. I believed him. God, I feel like I was so naive. I feel like I was a naive girl because I believed him. Yeah. And then my guy went back to the bedroom. He wore his kanzu, his white kanzu, which I find very attractive. I don't know whether I'm the only one who's like that, but I love seeing men, the Muslim men wearing the white kanzu. They look so good, right? My girls in the comment section, let me know what you think about that. So the following day, he woke up and I went with him in the second bedroom. And for sure, he was answering his emails and all that. So I was like, yeah, he's not lying to me. And I stayed like that for a while. And when I went back to the hostel, I had a friend back there. I shared with her. I shared with her what was happening. The way Elle was waking up very early. He goes to the second bedroom to answer his emails and all that. And this my girl, she told me, Somali men, it is not very hard. It is not very easy to catch them doing something bad. But I would advise you someday, just wake up a few minutes after he has woken up, then go in. That is when you will know what he normally does. If you don't trust him 100% that it is only the emails he is answering and he is responding to. So the following weekend, when I went to visit Elle, he woke up, he went to the bedroom, then I woke up and followed. And my guy was not in the bedroom. He was at the balcony smoking. Funny, right? Because how do I miss the fact that this guy is smoking? And it was not cigarette, because you can perceive the smell of somebody who has been smoking cigarettes, right? And weed as well, because in that hostel a lot of my peers were smoking weed. I knew the smell, so there was no smell. And I'm like, what is Elle smoking? I went to the balcony. I told him, you didn't have to lie to me. What is this? What are you smoking? And now I started explaining, this is their Somali weed. It doesn't really smell, so it was not easy for me to catch him. And he told me I was very scared if I told you, because somebody was very vocal in terms of, I don't want somebody who smokes. That is what I used to tell him. If you smoke, if you drink alcohol, especially those who drink regularly, no, I cannot deal with you. So he told me I was very scared that if I told you, you will not You not want to be associated with me anymore. And he told me this is good quality weed. That is why you never realize when I am high or when I'm not high. I was confused. I didn't know. I didn't know what to do at this point. And then that time I had grown to a point where I didn't used to react instantly. So I just went back and slept. And when he went to the mosque, he came back to the house and he told me, "Can we talk?" And I'm like, "Yeah, sure, we can talk." And he told me, now that is when he opened up to me. He told me the job that I'm doing, I supply weed and I supply to a lot of people. And this, my weed is very expensive. It's quite pricey. That is why I afford this kind of lifestyle. And he told me, I wouldn't want you to leave me. You know, I'm fond of you. I respect you and I really want you for myself. But now I will leave you to make a decision because I know I lied, so I'm sorry. I told him, okay, just go to work. When you're back, I'll have my answers with me. And I called my friend and she was like, at least he has told you the truth, yeah? So you just make your own decision basing on the kind of person he is because you're the only one who knows him. I don't know him. I've never met your guy. So make your own decisions yourself. Hey, and Elle came back. I told him it's okay as long as this is not affecting this relationship in any way negatively. In as much as when you're high, you don't treat me differently, you're not violent, you're not, yeah, disrespectful. It is okay. Let's see how this goes. And he was so happy. And now during the relationship, it got to a point where I used to tell him because I'd never uh tried weed in my life. So I would tell him, I would go to the balcony when he is smoking and I would tell him, why don't you introduce me to this thing? And he used to scold me and he told me, no, if I ever find you smoking weed, it will be it will be a case on its own because I don't want you to be doing this. And all the time you would tell me, please, never ever try it. And I'm like, but you use it. Nothing is happening to you. You're earning good money because, oh, let me tell you, that guy had money. And you tell me, no, you shouldn't try it. Never ever try it. And don't even think about if you mention that thing again. If you mention it again, we will have a long discussion. And he was a very good guy. He never allowed me to try the weed, honestly, even though he was selling it. And I would sit and think to myself, if this was somebody else and he was doing this kind of business, then he would introduce me, right? But he was a very good person. He didn't want me to use weed, he didn't want to introduce me to it, and it was his business. That is where he used to get his money from. And that guy used to sell weed to a lot of people. That is how I dated a guy with a secret life without knowing. He was a drug lord. Oh my God, I've not told you. This guy, he was so known, or can I say, he had these people used to distribute the weed for him. And some of these people used to work with Uber, some were working with bike. And like when he has left, because sometimes he would leave me in the house and go for hours, he would call them and order them to bring me food or do something for me. And I used to wonder, why do these people love this guy so much? Why do they look like he's their boss and he's not doing anything that serious? And he was so good. And he is just a good guy. Elle is just a good guy. And how did that relationship end? My guy went to Dubai. He left. Yes. He left the country and he also wanted me to become Muslim, but I didn't want to. Yeah, so that's basically it. I dated somebody with a secret life and that is how it turned out. He's a very good person. I don't know whether you have a story like mine where you've met somebody in church and they turned out to be not so good. They turned out to be evil, if we can say that. And if you ever met somebody else in this other side of the world where people love raha, in Kenya we call them sherehe, like you met somebody in club, you met somebody in all these funny businesses, and they turned out to be one of the best people you ever knew. I don't know whether you have such a story. I didn't start this channel for myself. I started it for us so that we can share such experiences. So if you have one like that, feel free to share it with us in the comment section. And if you want some privacy, feel free to use our email, which will be on the description, and let us know whether you'd want us to share that story here. And if you'd love so, would you want us to make it a private, like not share your identity? Okay, so that's said and done. That's it for today. I'll see you in my next video. Bye.